Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Solutions Brewing Podcast. My name is Stephen Sock, and I'm joined this week by Rob and Brendan. And today we have... Brendan, what are you drinking?
Well, I'm drinking the Next Exit collaboration brew brewed by the Airdrie Breweries.
Nice. Oh, yeah, you still have a couple of those, eh? I brought some to my uncle because he likes lagers, and he really liked that one.
Yeah, I finished off all mine on the weekend. I have some people over and had the last of them, so it's good thing that next batch is coming in pretty quick.
Yeah, I'll have to check on that. Actually, that should be pretty soon.
Yep,
we still have a few available on our website, though. If any of our listeners want to buy them,
there are only 10 4-packs left.
Oh wow, that's less than 2 cases.
That is less than 2 cases.
No. Well, speaking of beer and beer sales and breweries and everything, what we're talking about today is yet another doom and gloom forecast about the beer industry in Alberta and Canada at large.
Another one? I feel like these come out every 6 months or so.
Yeah, roughly.
All right.
So this article, we're taken from 2 sources today. There was an article from the CBC a couple days ago, and from the local kind of beer writer in Alberta, onbeer.org. And basically, both are saying the same thing: trouble brewing or the party's over. Basically, the amount of new breweries that are opening has basically kind of plateaued a little bit. New breweries are not growing at the same rate they have been in the last couple of years. A lot of breweries that managed to survive COVID and the pandemic and all that, the ones that were a little bit in more shaky financial situation are not looking good. And actually, even at home here, we've heard through the industry that there's a couple places that are in trouble, and one actually did close recently in Calgary. So,
which one?
Inner City Brewing.
Oh, they did. That's official now,
eh? Yeah, I don't know what's going on in the background, at least, but Inner City beers for the most part are gone off of shelves, and there hasn't their actual physical location is closed as well. There's a
Apparently you can't go to their website anymore.
Yeah, the website. I remember talking with the guys at 948. They mentioned that was probably the case because they haven't brewed anything for a while, and that location is closed.
Yeah. So with that, I was going to say, and just like a little anecdotally,
I keep doing this every time. I keep forgetting to move my microphone somewhere where people can actually hear
now
me.
We can hear you.
Yeah.
And then I was just going to say anecdotally, when we had our audit. Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
we heard from our, because we had an audit, because you're supposed to get audited every year. And as we were talking with the fella, he did mention that in his portfolio, there were a few places, he said between 4 and 5 in southern Alberta, that were shaky. So yeah, I'm going to throw this over to you, Rob. Latest doom and gloom. What do you make of it?
It's like normal market cycles, really. I mean, if you think about it, there was a boom, and after every boom, it's going to kind of either bust or level out. I don't think it's going to totally bust, but it's definitely slowing down. I really like the what Jason Foster does on his onbeer.org site, which is he actually includes the stats. So you can see which provinces have actually declined in the number of breweries, and which ones have increased a little bit, and which ones have kind of stayed the same.
Yeah, so it's very interesting for us to see, at least, for the last year and a half since this article, or he last did this, there's only been 4 new breweries that have opened in Alberta. So I think actually we count as that. I think we're one of those.
No, we're not in his stats. He doesn't count contract brewers.
No, but we're not
a legit brewery now.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, that's right. We do.
Yeah, I think we actually do count.
I wonder if
we're one of those 10 new breweries in Alberta.
I wonder if he does have us in there. Then maybe I don't know. I don't know where he gets where the data comes from.
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, it's like
Alberta's up by 4 year over year.
Yeah, so I bet
we're one of those.
We're probably one of those. Because we did move from contract to production. So
it'd be us and like, what was the one we saw at Rocky View, Mountain Wine Food Festival? That was Iron Hat or something like Iron Hat.
Oh yeah, what were they called?
I think it was Iron Hat.
Iron Hat
and Stony Slopes would be one of them, right?
Brooks.
Yeah, Stony Slopes would be another one.
And then I don't know what the fourth one is, but
yeah. Well, this is net of closures too, right?
Yes, that's right.
So Fitzsimmons would be out, but we'd be in, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's. I was going to say it's prevailing economic condition sort of thing. What do you think there, Brendan, on this on these numbers and the rising costs, but not for consumers sort of thing that's going on?
I don't know if you've been out to buy beer lately, but I think there's rising costs for consumers as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. These doom and gloom things come all the time. There obviously has been inflation, and for anybody with a tap room, hiring staff or paying staff is going to be more expensive. Raw materials are going to be more expensive. But like, things have gotten more expensive, and if you weren't necessarily in a comfortable position to start with, this is a bit of a stress test. I could see it impacting a number of places. Yeah, it's kind of tough to predict what may or may not be going under without knowing their books. But
yeah, because like, well, again, if you have a physical location, you have a load of debt. Because not a lot of people have 6 to 7 figures in their pocket to finance, like the brewery equipment and all the furnishings and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of breweries are carrying a debt load, and a lot of them, unfortunately, did take those loans to stay afloat, from like the CRA, like the CERB
loans,
the CERB loans, but whatever the business version of them were. And
and those ones are coming due. So
and they're coming due. So there's a lot of pressure there.
I think that was SEBA.
SEBA. Okay.
Oh yeah, there we are, SEBA.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting looking at, because this article from the CBC is mostly out of BC. So they talked to a couple BC brewers in the Lower Mainland and on the island, and they basically said that they couldn't keep staff with how costs were, and less staff and more hats for the staff that remain. So it's it's pretty rough. And you are right. The bloody beer prices in the stores now is insane. It's a good thing Solutions Brewing has not raised their price in like 2 years.
We're inflation proof.
Inflation proof, recession proof, everything proof.
I don't know. There's definitely some opportunistic price raising going in, right?
Yeah, like when I see like a 4-pack of beer for $20, and I don't care even if it's like a fancy beer, they put a lot of hops in it, or if it's a sour or something. If a 4-pack crosses that $20 threshold, I don't buy it anymore. I just don't. It's way above what I'm willing to pay at a store and bring home and drink in my own house.
I only drink like 1 or 2 beers a week now. So I'm still going through all that stuff we got from Tradesies at Rocky Mountain Wine Food Festival.
Yeah.
Actually, I started cooking with some of it, so I was like, man, this is not going anywhere.
Yeah, cook with some of those lagers we got. But overall, the kind of the big kind of scary number that they put out there is the 10 to 20% of breweries kind of in trouble. And if you look at on beers kind of percentages, you see at least a year over year, like between, it's basically about 5% in some places that are the breweries have closed.
I think part of this also ties into kind of an earlier discussion we had on a different podcast about IPAs kind of having their day in the sun, hazies having their day in the sun, and then now people are kind of going back to the tried and tested lagers and the ones that they knew before. And that's part of it as well. It's not just an increase in cost, but you're having people that you might not have as many people willing to try the new beers every time. And some of that's going to be based on the fact that grocery bills have gone up and people are tightening the belt. But I think another part of it is people just are getting tired of the new thing all the time. I think some of the smarter things you're seeing out by craft breweries that are more established is they're starting to lager more and putting out some craft versions, some craft competitors for Budweiser and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, that's really the next new thing. I mean, what else is there for beers? I mean, there are people that like stouts, but those are really only seasonal for the most part.
And they only attend festivals and they don't actually buy it.
That's right. Yeah, they crave it at festivals.
That is a very specific
people in this
niche.
province only drink stout 4 ounces at a time.
Yeah.
and then they'll sing our praises, and then we'll never hear from them again. like remember that family that wanted to get buy a keg off of us, Rob? Like they were so enamored with it. Never heard from them again a month later.
Then they realized they didn't have anything to actually.
We'll have to change the strategy. We'll have to get their contact info so we can like poke them.
We can
just
harass them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I get back to that scenario. Like when I go to the liquor store now, like I see a lot of like for instance, the Establishment Company, a very well established and award-winning brewery that's in Calgary here. They have like a whole line of like pale and lagered beers. Like they've got a pilsner, they've got a lager, they have a Quebec. I can think a Quebec lager as well. Mm-hmm. So like they have a whole like low end of their line now. Or I shouldn't say low end, but like a simple end of their line that's just like these very clear, crisp, tasty beers. And then there's less shelf space now for their other like more experimental like sours and stuff that they were kind of founded on, like the weird aged beers and that sort of thing.
Yeah, some people still do that, but that was like their whole business model. Like Establishment, for example, does a lot of barrel aged beers.
Mm-hmm.
I think Prairie Dog still does some too.
Yeah,
they've got a barrel aging program.
But like in the stores, I don't see any. Like again, that's more of a tap room and
that's true. Yeah,
Well, and if you look at Prairie Dog, like they had their event for doing the tasting on the 3 different years of their barrel aged stuff, and that's what those beers are great for. Is that kind of
that vertical tasting? Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like come here, we'll teach you what we're seeing and expose you to kind of this experiment that we're doing, but do it small batch, and then you're selling 1 or 2 bottles per person in the year, right? So
yeah, a very exclusive high. I would say that's a high margin product. There we go. That's what I was looking for, because that's small select batch time, and
it doesn't move as fast though either though. So
it doesn't move as fast,
that.
But you sell it at a premium because of what it is.
Yeah. It takes more effort to do though too, right?
Oh yeah,
taking up space for longer.
And you have losses through the barrel, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's the other part.
But then I was going to say, you see them in the liquor store now. They actually have 2 sets of cans I've seen. They had I think it was for Pride Month or something like that. It was like a raspberry sour, raspberry something ale they had. And then there was another, I think it was a harvest wheat one they had, a hef that they came out with. But it was interesting seeing them in cans for the first time. So it's actually they had enough production space, or maybe they contracted out through someone bigger and had that for their because I see those in the co-ops now.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're kind of branching out and diversifying. But seen a lot of simpler beers now.
Which is fine. It's just different, right? The whole point is, the craft market space obviously took up the IPAs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there aren't a lot of big breweries that you really hear of IPAs, other than like stuff that companies that were already making IPAs, like Sierra Nevada or Big Rock, or so it's really, I don't know. Lager just seems like the low hanging fruit of the next thing to get into.
The next cycle, the next iteration.
Yeah.
Well, and like I said last time, it's a sign of maturity to make a good lager consistently is challenging.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
There's nothing to hide behind, which is why I make ales. So,
but yeah, so we'll kind of have to keep an eye out here because, like, yeah, we mentioned inner city brewing, but there's like unfortunately we might have to pour another one out for other breweries in Alberta and around if they're unfortunately they don't survive the next little bit.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, Airdrie's doing fine. So.
Oh yeah, Airdrie's doing fine.
yeah, there'll be a lot of breweries that survive through this as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
People will pick up spare equipment and help offset any of the losses from the other guys, and just hope nobody's over leveraged and everybody moves on to the next thing without too much of a financial impact. But
yeah. So yeah, hopefully the fundamentals are good, but we'll have to kind of see.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well,
I don't know if there's much else to talk on that subject. It's kind of like
I was going to say, well, just keep an eye out. Go visit your local brewery and go buy some beer and give them a helping hand because that's what they need. They need beer sales, preferably at the beer brewery itself. If you can get to the brewery to yourself and buy beer there, best thing you can do.
It'll be cheaper too.
That too.
What else is going on? Rob, you got a pretty cool mustache.
Mm-hmm.
I've got like
you don't have a mustache.
I've got like a reverse.
No, I still
mustache.
got my beard.
Yeah,
reverse mustache. Yeah,
I've got like a reverse mustache where I shaved kind of underneath my nose and above my lip, and everything else is. And it's actually quite long. I keep grabbing it and pulling it. I keep playing with it, but like it's coming off soon. We're at the
2 days
end of the
So between you and me, we've got a full beard, which matches what Steve has.
That's right.
But why do you have a reverse mustache, Rob?
I just always try to do something different all the time. So this is like the 9th year that I've done Movember, and I've always done something crazy. So like I've done one where that's like a spiral. I've done one where it came down low, and then like I had like a bikini, like I shaved my chest for that one too. I did.
I remember the Riddler one.
Yeah, that was I did the question mark.
Yeah,
I did Batman. Batman was a good one. I like that one. This was just one that was like, you know what? I've done that. Try to do the reversal. See if I got some comments off of it, but not a lot. I think people just like kind of the way it is. People think like this was a normal beard, but
this is the laziest thing you could do. You just shaved once.
Yeah.
Yeah, at a distance, it looks like you have a goatee, but it's only on second glance that they realize it's like, wait, where's the lip fuzz? And you're like, oh, exactly, yeah. Okay.
Anyway, I believe when this episode comes out, will be the last day to donate for anybody that wants to.
No, you can donate until the end of December.
Okay, perfect.
Keep it open then. Yeah.
All right. Well, if you want to support Men's Health, Robert Kalachuk on November.
Yeah.
And
done pretty good. Raised $1,100 so far this year.
Beauty.
Not bad. Well, Brennan, if someone who is listening to this wanted to tell us to grow more magnificent beards or something along the lines of that, how would they do so?
Well, first of all, they should go to our webpage, www.solutionsbrewing.com. There's a contact us page there that sends us an email. Email goes to noproblems@solutionsbrewing.com. There's also a newsletter you can sign up for. It pops up and walks you through that process. Also, if all this is making you thirsty, there's a store on there. You can order some beer. One of us fine gentlemen will deliver it to your house if you're in the Calgary area. So for my brother in Australia listening to this, unfortunately, our reach isn't that far yet. People can also reach out to us on our socials, Facebook and Instagram @Solutions Brewing Co. And since we're coming now into December soon and the Christmas season, it's time for our 3rd annual Ginger Brew House competition. If anybody wants to make a gingerbread brew house, send us a picture of it through Instagram or through email or whatever. That'd be fantastic. We'd love to see what you guys can make. And this year, we'll finally unseat Rob as the reigning champion of the gingerbread houses.
We'll
In
see.
my case, by actually making gingerbread instead of just using celebration cookies.
Celebration and icing. Yeah,
It's like icing in a spray can. It is the best thing ever. I'm gonna use that for every single one from now on, just because I love the concept of it.
Use it for one little section.
And then I get to eat the icing afterwards.
Yeah, it's a good system. I've got a plan this year. I'll see if I'm able to execute on it, because I've got an idea, but I don't know if my skills in gingerbread making are good enough. We're going to find out.
We're going to find out. So we're going to have our entries posted December 15th or 16th.
Yep.
And yeah, anybody else that wants to post in, Rob, we should put out an Instagram post about this too. You can show your winning one from last year and throw the glove down.
That means I have to find those pictures, man.
Yeah, sure does.
They're
on our Instagram profile if that helps you.
I was going to say, it's going to be like that episode of The Simpsons when Homer tries to make the backyard grill, and he looks at the picture and he's like, "Man, this looks amazing. Why doesn't mine
look like that?"
That's what mine's going to look like. It's either going to be together or it's going to be like some modern art piece, because it's just going to be like all freaking cobbled together, just all broken shit, and it just spikes and stuff. The Brewery of Despair.
Brewery of Despair.
Anyway, looking forward to that. Hopefully, anybody else sends in new pictures. We'd love to see them.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Till next time, everyone. Thanks for listening.
And on that note, thanks, everyone.
Take care.